My son Henry is 6, and he had to have a tonsillectomy. And while we were at it, he also had to have some reconstruction done on his ear. He had a tube put in 2019.
Okay.
And so it was still in, which like typically, if you don't know anything about ear tubes, Squid,
No,
it's you put if you're having a lot of ear infections, you put the ear tube in, and it helps things drain and keeps the eardrum open so that it's like things can pass. And
yeah, my son Ezra just got tubes put in 2 months ago. Yeah,
Nora had tubes, and so what is supposed to happen is that you have the tube put in, and then you get bigger and grow older, and then the tube falls out naturally on its own. Well, in Henry's case, one of the tubes did not fall out naturally on its own, and it was stuck in there, and so they kind of had to go in and like. It sounds gross, but they basically had to like dig it out, you know?
Yeah.
So there was grafting, which is done, by the way, with cigarette paper. Did you know that?
What?
Yep, the grafting.
Wow. You got that nicotine in his ear.
Just the paper, but from the back and from the front to keep his eardrum open after the tube was surgically
Science
removed.
is incredible.
Nuts to me, right?
Wait,
Wow.
but is this grafting paper, cigarette paper, still in the air?
Yes, so it'll naturally dissolve.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, over time, and it's 2 weeks after you have the surgery. You start using these eardrops to make sure So
Then he goes to the nicotine patch.
The
after that.
young-
and then that gone.
Youngest kid to have a cigarette in the
little
plant.
consistent buzz the whole time. Yeah.
Yes. When we heard cigarette paper, my sisters and I were like, "What? Do what now?"
Katie's like, "Do you need extra? I have some."
I got my roll of papers in my purse.
Can I save on the bill if you use mine?
What about vape smoke?
Does that work?
No.
No. So anyway, that's a pretty major surgery.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Especially having 2 at one time.
Yes, 2 at one time. And so the recovery has been extended. I mean, but what we expected just isn't a lot of pain, and his ears really hurt. But anyway, he goes under for the anesthesia, and when they're that young, you get your silly juice beforehand. And so he drank the silly juice.
Oh,
and,
really? What is it? Alcohol?
No.
Yeah, booze.
What is it?
It's
Drink this liquor,
Gotta be
Playboy.
something.
Is it Modelo? Is it Modelo?
no.
No.
Gosh, what's the name of it?
Modelo.
I don't know anything about alcohol. I
It's
just
just a medication.
Is that Grey Goose? I only drink Tito's. Yeah.
All
I
of
got my
those
cigarette
things.
ear and I got the alcohol.
Mommy says I have to have Tito's.
It's silly juice.
My son didn't do
Mommy's
that
juice?
when he got his ears.
Versed? Is it Versed? Is that a pain?
That's the thing. Yes.
Okay, yes.
Versed.
So
yeah.
he has
No
that.
kidding.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, and he did this back in 2019 when he had his tubes too. They give you the silly juice. And all of a sudden, it's like you see it kick in and his head starts wobbling.
Yeah.
And he's trying to focus really hard on the phone. And it's like coming closer and then going, and then you ask him a question. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
I love you, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm not falling asleep. Can't make me. We're like, night.
Bye.
So he goes in.
So does the silly juice make him go to sleep, or it just gets him prepared to go to sleep for the gas that they give him?
Yeah, it relaxes you. It relaxes you because he has to have an
wanna try
IV,
some.
and well, maybe we could make that happen.
Yeah.
We could bring some Versed
Yeah.
into the studio.
Jason, that might make you like function like a normal person.
It might.
It takes the edge off.
Relaxed a little bit. Wow.
Everyone else it knocks out. You're like just acting normal. Now.
I mean,
No more pacing.
to be fair, it looks fun. Like, don't drink all of it, Henry. Mommy needs a sip.
Mommy,
No, don't throw it away.
I'll need to try it and make sure it's safe.
Mommy needs the V.
I'm licking the inside of the cup. What are you doing? Nothing. Nothing.
Waste not, want not, son.
I paid for that.
Yeah, that's a very expensive juice.
Everything is 10 times more expensive in like a hospital setting too. Like
No
Tylenol
kidding.
is like $10 a tablet.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
can just go get a generic one for like 1 cent there.
Right.
Or a whole tub of them for the same amount. I
ridiculous.
know. So he goes in. The surgery went off without a hitch. It was fantastic. And the last
Can I
time,
ask?
yeah,
I don't mean it,
no,
but
it's fine.
How long did that type of surgery last? With the tonsils and the ear grafting?
It was so interestingly enough, Henry became. That's the only way he showed that he was nervous about it. Is that all of a sudden we get in the hospital. And he gets his gown on and the hat and everything. And then he's asking every person who comes through our curtain, how long is this going to take? How many minutes is this? And we were like, is he nervous? I guess
Yeah.
he's nervous.
Yeah, sure.
They told us about 45 minutes.
Okay.
But it ended up being about 30-ish.
Okay.
I mean, it happens just the same with tubes. It happens so fast that by the time we were able to go and get a cup of coffee, for the most part, it seemed like it was over.
And by
It was
the time
very
the first
quick.
set kicked in for you, it was over.
It was. I was
After
taking
you,
a nap.
After you licked it through, yeah.
His mom had a cigarette. We can cut 15 minutes off this.
So he comes out when Henry had tubes in 2019. He came out of anesthesia a very angry elf. Like I'm
Really?
talking screaming at the top of his lungs so much that this was at the surgical center in Greensboro in 2019.
I think I've been there.
Well, they had to give us a private room because he was like that upset.
Ezra, very similar.
Yes, like
Because they don't know what's going on.
crashing, and
They're so confused.
and it's this noise that you make. I don't know if I can mimic it, but it is like the most like an animal instinct, kind of, where it's like primal almost.
Primal,
yeah.
Like a
That's
very
scary.
yes.
Well, there's a lot of adults come out of anesthesia and they'll start crying.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you don't know. You don't.
Your
You're trying
body's
to,
reacts. I mean, you
Is
gotta
that
think
the
about it.
same thing as I'm just trying to think, Katie. When we got the what's the thing we got up our butts? The
colonoscopy.
colonoscopy. Was that
I thought you were
Body
saying
inspection.
I'm like, please say colon.
Get
Is it
your oil
colonoscopy?
check.
a frat brother?
Was it a goat?
Initiation.
You know what I'm saying? Is that the same? That's propofol. Is that what he had, or is it different? I think
That's
it's
different.
different.
It's
Yeah,
different. Versed is different.
Why is it? No, Versed I thought was
Versat's
silly
the
juice.
pre.
Yeah.
Is like the
Yeah, but then you have the gas, right?
And then
Yeah.
he
Oh,
had.
I mean, for the actual
Yeah.
anesthesia for
Yeah.
the surgery.
I don't know what he
Could
had.
be propofol. The shorter ones are used. Shorter surgeries. In a former life, I was with somebody that is an anesthesia,
Yes.
nurse anesthetist, and so I know a little bit.
Oh yeah. I don't know
So
what
the
he
shorter
had.
Well, when we
surgery is
came out, the
propofol.
reason why I say that is when I came out of it, I felt good.
I came out quickly.
Yeah,
It
I
didn't
just was
feel
like,
foggy.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I felt great. I
Yeah.
think it's different. I think because I think kids have a gas more than they do. I think.
He definitely had the gas because when our nurse anesthetist JWAG, what's up? When she came in, she was telling Henry in terms that he could understand, which was very helpful for me. That it was like, well, you're going to blow in. I need your help to blow into this balloon, and you have to really. And she said it might smell a little funny, so you have to blow extra hard to make sure that you get the smell away, and it's going to go around your mouth. You have to blow up the balloon. So it was helpful for him to visualize that was what was going to happen, but I don't know what
Okay.
I know
it was.
propofol. I looked it up because I know it's short. I mean, for shorter surgeries, and you don't feel like drowsy afterwards.
No, you don't. You come
It's
right
for
out of it.
colonoscopies. They use propofol
For colonoscopies.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
it's
it say
different
for-
because I think that a lot of people, even adults, come out of these surgeries and they're whacked for a little while.
Yeah.
With a propofol one, you just come out feeling fine.
Well, Henry was definitely whacked.
Okay.
Because I had said to, you do a bunch of calls beforehand, everybody making sure that your allergies and when to eat and when not to, and what kind of things you're taking, whatever. And so I said, look, just so you know, he did not come out of anesthesia well last time. I know that that's very normal, but I just want to make note of it, that happened to us last time. They're like, oh, no problem, no problem. Well, when we get the phone call from the surgeon that everything has gone well, she said, everything went great. It was wonderful. He's going to be very, very loopy, but you're welcome to go back to see him.
Shut up!
Jason, they open up the two double doors that go into the like the recovery area. They told us exactly what bay to go to. They didn't have to because they open up the doors and Ben and I were like, there he is. This is Henry. I can't see.
That could be scary though, if it's your own kid.
He was like over and over and over.
see?
I can't see. I can't see. And our nurse was so sweet. And she was like, yeah, he did a really big number on scratching his eyes when he was coming out of surgery. And so she said, so we think that that's probably why he's saying he can't see. And, I'm like, well, he's also coming off the drug. So I'm not concerned. Well, he kept it up for approximately 15, 20 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
And at one point, I said, I'm sure his eyes are heavy from coming out of the anesthesia. And then so the nurse walks away and she came back. She goes, okay, good news. So I double checked.
He can see.
They might have put some Vaseline on his eyes.
Right.
And we think that when he was rubbing that it got all in his eyes because there's no more Vaseline left at all. And also, you're trying to focus. Like I'm seeing, it's like you're looking at a little drunk person.
Yeah.
Right.
You see their eyes trying to focus and he can't. But he was so concerned about not being able to see. And then it shifted. All of a sudden, he's able to see, and you can tell that he's becoming a little bit more alert. But then instead of being insane about not being able to see, it becomes hyper focused on getting his IV out.
Oh, really?
But we can't because he has to finish his bag of fluid,
Right.
which is also has the medication in there to make sure that he doesn't throw up. It's like anti-nausea.
Yes.
So he can't, he has to keep it in for this bag to drain.
He's like a 50-year-old man.
He is.
Yeah.
He
Get
was
this
so
IV out of me.
ornery. It was incredible to watch. So we're doing everything we can to distract him. We're like, there's, look at this thing and have this and have some
He's
ice
like,
cream,
Mom,
whatever.
I said I can't see.
We were doing everything. Finally, at one point, I turned to the nurse and I said, look, is it easier or harder for you to have the parents in here? Because I know
Yeah.
Or do you have
that
handcuffs?
You papoose this child.
Maybe a muzzle. I said, I know, I get it. You want them to wake up and they have a friendly face and they recognize and they feel safe, I said, but we're doing a whole lot of comforting when I don't know if we're hindering the process.
Yeah, because maybe with a professional, he just listens.
Who knows?
Right.
Don't know. I mean, he was not listening to her when we walked in.
That's true because he's out of his mind.
He
because
was out of
anesthesia. By the way, just to go back for
Yeah.
tonsillectomies, right?
Yes.
It's general anesthesia is
Okay.
what they call
So
it.
it's not
Okay.
propofol.
No, it's
different.
not, and
Right.
so with the IV and the masking.
And the masking, yeah.
Yeah.
So, he eventually got over it. And then once the bag drained, we were able to get the IV out. But then it was the tape over the cotton ball that was where the IV, you know what I mean? It was just something the entire time until we finally got home. And it was better, I would say, than the first time he came out of anesthesia, but not great. Not great.
Anesthesia is a weird thing.
So
it's a
crazy.
miracle. It's a miracle.
It is. And he did, just the same way, if you had a surgery, you would have no recollection of it whatsoever.
The problem is with it, it's also it's got to be monitored to the T.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it can be dangerous.
Mhm.
Well, that's why they get paid
Yeah.
so much.
That's what makes me nervous because before my son got one, this is years ago, the doctor did a little prayer before it. And I'm like,
I think that's really nice.
no, that made me feel more anxious. Like, why are we praying? Why are we praying now? Usually you're praying if there's a problem.
Well, why do you pray
No.
before you eat? You're giving thanks and
I don't.
hands. Oh, you don't. Okay.
No.
I guess
Right.
maybe you should like the mafia movies you watch, and when there's like trouble, they might pray. But I mean, Christians pray for good, and they pray every
Good,
day.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Right, but right before the surgery is concerning, that means there's something up with.
No.
No,
Jason,
Whatever.
I say a prayer every single time before I get on the highway. I say,
Because the highway is dangerous.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, be with us on our way.
Do you really?
Every time.
Really?
And the
I
sign
say
of
a
the
general
cross.
prayer every morning and night, just
Yeah.
like about the day, about
Yeah.
different things. But it's not like because of
I think it's
impending
bad.
doom. I mean, that could be
Did
part
you
of
say
it.
a prayer right before the surgery, Henry's surgery?
Yes.
Yeah, see?
And after. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
just-
for comfort or
Yeah.
to guide the surgeon's hands,
Mhm.
or make sure he's not blind when he wakes up. Whatever.
Oh, all the things. You never know.
Whatever.
I mean,
You never know.
Yes, you could walk out of the studio right now and, I don't know, have a heart attack. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I tend to pray throughout my day.
Right.
Or just to give a little moment.
Yeah.
But that to me would be very comforting.
Complete opposite for me. That's when I'm like, what's up with this? Is this safe?
I hope they put a note in your kid's chart.
He prefers a satanic seance right before.
Dad would rather have a sacrifice before the surgery.
I also am not skeptical of people and their jobs. You know,
I wasn't until the prayer.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're very, very highly trained.
I do too.
And very highly capable.
Before the prayer.
And
I'm like, is
yeah.
this the first time?
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like there's a chance that if you're praying like that, you might feel a little bit of extra confidence because now you feel like you have some of that on your side. You know what I'm saying?
Agnostic doesn't. And
Okay.
I
those,
mean, I guess if you don't
times
believe
like
it,
that-
it's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
well, no, it's just in those times like that, you're just nervous that, things could go wrong. Look, when it's with your kids, I guarantee you, you're nervous.
I was nervous.
course.
Yes,
Yes.
of course. Because you hear stories or things happen, and even if you don't hear stories, things happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, you always get very nervous. But I did not go into that day thinking, "Oh my God." No, I went in knowing he was going in to a very capable situation
Yes.
with very capable,
100%.
confident, successful people.
Yes.
And they were every single one of them.
Well, I'm glad he's doing much better.
Yeah, he is. He kind of turned a corner
'Cause
last
it was-
night.
I know it was rough for almost a week.
Yes, and it was like this is the other thing. When you are this young and you have because I had my tonsils taken out when I was 20.
Oh my gosh, I heard this the
It
worst.
was the most painful 2 weeks of my whole life.
Adults getting their that's why I have tonsil stones.
Yeah.
Which I hate. I have to pick them out with my special equipment. But it's fine. I get them out.
Can we all
all the
say a
time.
prayer?
Yes. Please do stop talking about the
Sorry.
tonsils.
Please not let me smell one that comes out of his mouth.
Well, first of all, I removed them, so they're fine. I have a
Whatever.
new suction tube thing now. But anyways,
Okay.
it's Katie. But
What?
I would have to get my tonsils out to get rid of
It probably would help you.
No, he said, if you can tolerate it, trust me as an adult, you
It
don't want your
is-
tonsils out.
It is the most painful. And I had like prescription painkillers. You know, they give you that as an adult. For kids, you get Motrin and you get Tylenol.
Oh, that
and
sucks.
that's it.
And not enough.
And that's it. And it's every 3 hours like clockwork. And if you miss that dose, it is pure hell.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh.
Pure hell.
Have you, I know this is kind of odd, but
Yeah.
have you looked inside his mouth and seen the top? And they're like, they start becoming, I hate to say this, but they start rotting. If the skin starts rotting, the where they did it through, it's
So
like,
he had a laser. The laser yep,
maybe it's different now.
removed. But yes, I look in his mouth. I'm all about that kind of stuff.
Right.
But you look in his mouth, and at first it's very black because it's cauterized.
Right.
And so then,
Yeah, then it's the dead skin. It
Right.
starts getting white, right?
and the white scabs,
Have
and
you
then the
ever smelled it?
scabs.
Mm.
I can smell his breath,
Like,
so I know.
Give me a piece of
There's
that
a,
scab.
there's a weird smell
Mhm.
to the tonsils,
Yeah,
just like people smell dogs' paws sometimes.
like Fritos.
Very similar.
You think they
It's
smell
not
like Fritos?
No, I don't think it's the same scent. I think it's the
Fritos
same.
is like, please stop.
Don't paint me in
Do
this
not.
corner.
They don't smell like dead
No, but
skin.
that's what Katie's saying is very common. A lot of people feel as though the dog's paws sometimes smell like
They
Fritos.
do.
Frito,
I don't
yeah.
think
Yeah,
they do. The kind of they definitely do smell like
Which
Fritos.
is funny.
But
There are people that actually, for some reason, like to smell that.
the scabbing.
Yes.
Oh, okay, not me.
Jason, are you inviting yourself to Katie's house?
Do you want to smell his
No,
breath?
with your
See, I'm
own
really
kid.
concerned about Henry.
Can you bottle up Henry's breath?
I think he's going to be here tomorrow morning. so if you want to,
It's
okay.
your own kids,
Oh.
like your own dog.
Katie, I want to say a prayer with your son alone.
Henry, breathe on
It'll
me.
sound like sniffing, but I'm praying. It might sound like I'm crying.
You gotta blow up this balloon.
I know that sounds odd, but it's true.
I don't. I get a whiff of the breath and I'm good. But I will say, looking at the chart after, it has all the information and like in the summary, you know, in your
Yeah.
chart, whatever. And Henry had 4+ size tonsils, which is the biggest that you can
Oh,
have.
really?
And it took up more than 75% of the back of his throat.
Yeah.
So
that's
this
scary.
is already like he's not snoring anymore. He's having an easier, better time breathing.
That's good.
Hopefully the sicknesses will decline because it's not just like all being caught up in that area. But 4+, that poor kid.
He may have been dealing with
Oh.
some sleep apnea at that
Oh,
point.
totally,
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely,
100%.
absolutely.
My
Dang.
gosh.
Yeah.
And the only thing he has to worry about now is creeps trying to smell his
breath.
scabbing
Not
sores.
cauterized.
Yeah, I was talking about
I didn't
his
say you.
parents.
I didn't say you. I said people that would do
I
that.
have no interest in smelling his.
Don't look like
breath.
I'm bizarre. I'm just saying what other people might do.
Sure.
Did you get them tonsils out?
Henry, don't tell your mom, but
Breathe into this jar for me.
You see Jason walking around the PACU. Like, does anybody tonsillectomy anyone? Okay, not today.
he puts like a lab coat on. It's like-
Willing to do breath checks.
and just has like a carton of mason jars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
7-year-old boy. Oh yeah, it's a good year. This is a good month right here.
You can jar them and sell them online.
Yeah, the girls sell their farts online. You
Yeah,
can sell
you can absolutely.
young kids.
You know what?
Yeah.
I say
Tonsil
a prayer
breath.
for all
Tonsil
you
breath.
people.
And you could make different categories. Like, oh, his tonsils were only a 1.
A 1.
Yeah.
These are 1s.
You know, and those are $19.99.
Yeah, if you're on a budget.
But
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if you want the good stuff,
The good.
4+, at least $50, I think.
Forget selling your
guarantee.
feet.
I guarantee tonight Katie's going to be tempted. Watch.
Absolutely.
Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yes.
God,
You can be
no.
honest tomorrow morning. That's fine.
Oh, God.
Jason,
That's fine.
All right. We're all different.
It's just like when you smell your dog's breath. Sometimes you like that.
I don't.
It's like
well,
Yeah.
it depends.
I don't.
When they're a puppy.
A puppy's fine, but yeah,
like a therapist has said, everyone dribbles their ball differently. Jason just dribbles his ball a little different than
Yes,
others.
if you
Yeah.
like
That's all right.
that, that's
Okay.
fine. Own it.
I dribble my ball differently.
Yes, you do.
Katie,
Yeah, we all do.
yeah. All right. Some might go to prison for the way they dribble their ball.
Smelling stuff.
All right. Well, Time Magazine has just named it's Creep of the Year. No. Time
Bring in the trophy.
It's just a picture of Jason when he, from his recent vacation.
Hello.
Tonsil smeller. What?